I'm Rich Lieberman, the Bay Area Media Zone, and we're going to go beyond Bay Area. And I'm going to talk about this until I'm blue in the face, to borrow a cliche, but is very apt cliche here. We've had all this news today. We have the news coming out of Colorado where a terrorist attack took place in Boulder and apparently is not as serious as we first thought. We don't know yet because the major cable outlets broke away. CNN, which couldn't lead a hooker to a bachelor party, that's how bad they are. They have no leadership, they have no ratings. They went from that story to that very compelling breaking news story about Eva Longoria noshing and eating her way in Spain. Because Lord only knows that people want to hear about Eva Longoria eating in Spain, which is drawing no ratings. So the Eva glory, I guess, has not been as intensified as first thought. CNN doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They haven't known for a long time now. 45 years ago today, CNN debuted. Boy, I thought they'd have a little bit more of a pithier legacy, but they broke away. Fox News, of all channels, broke away from the situation in Boulder. Why? Apparently not bloody enough, not smoky enough. Maybe there weren't, maybe a lack of actual people dead. Seriously. Anyway, we don't know. Everybody broke away. Guess what? The New York Times, they buried this story at the bottom of their front page online. Go look. Breaking news. USA Today, I'll give them credit, up there on the front of its website. The Chronicle, sfchronicle.com. Nothing. Oh, it's a Sunday. Yeah, I guess they're too busy about to come up with their 200 best restaurants in the Bay Area. They have the 100 best. It is incredible to me. I'll get to that point in a second. Folks, this is extemporaneous type of reasoning, I would hope, but it isn't reasoning. I am vastly frustrated with what is happening now. Here we are to move to a side angle of this all. In the San Francisco Bay Area, the number 6 market for television, okay? San Francisco Bay Area, number 4 for radio. God knows why. We don't have radio. We do not have an old KGO. That ship has sailed. We don't have NewsTalk. It is preposterous. It is maddening. It is repulsive. I will say this once again, till I'm blue in the face, that an area of this size, an area that is near, 30 to 50 miles from Silicon Valley, the so-called brain check of the world. Yet we have no news talk station. There is no news talk station. We don't even have a news station. And don't tell me KCBS. They're full of traffic reports and inane reporters and 18 million commercials and weather reports that when there's no weather and sports reports that are given by taped anchors from 2 or 3 days ago. News? Are you kidding me? They don't believe in that. It is, again, folks, call me naive. It is outlandish that there is no news talk outlet in the Bay Area. When you think and look at other markets like Miami, Houston, Los Angeles, Boston, Chicago, New York, what do they all have in common? They have news talk outlets. They too have been affected by the lack of people, the lack of revenue that engulfs mainstream radio, terrestrial, so-called terrestrial radio. But they still have news talk outlets. They don't take days off on Sunday. If I sound a little disjointed, call me naive. Go ahead. We don't have anybody on the air. The disgrace that they did to KGO, they buried the call letters. Now on 8:10 a.m., we have a all taped KSFO. That, oh, by the way, this is how Cumulus feels about its listeners in the Bay Area. How about on KGO 810, which is now KSFO, they're running, they couldn't even edit this out, KABC 790 AM. We have no news talk. Look at what is taking place. Forget about, for the moment, what's happening in Boulder. What could have transpired, we don't know, because they're more interested in Eva Longoria noshing in Spain. I love Eva Longoria too. She's beautiful. She's sexy. I get it. But not on a day when in Boulder, they got elderly people laying on the ground, burnt, with some two nutcases, one of whom they caught, going after Jews with Molotov cocktails. You're damn right I am angry now. What about what's happening in Iran? Apparently, Iran has enough uranium to make not just one nuclear bomb or two or three. How about 9 nuclear bombs? Forget the Jews here or Israel. These are bombs that can be placed on missiles that can travel at a distance and hit us or the United States. We don't have an outlet to talk about this. Forget Sunday or Saturday. We don't even have an outlet during the week. We have syndicated crap, most of which is taped. We have no frequency on 560. We have family radio, whatever the hell that is, on 610 a.m., religious programming. We have a non-sports station with a bunch of amateurs, frat boys who talk about allegedly sports at 6:80 a.m. We have an alleged news station, my ass, on 7:40 a.m. We have the aforementioned KSFO, KGO, crapola at 8:10 a.m. and the rest of the dial, utter crap. This is what constitutes radio in the Bay Area. I feel like, I guess, I'm the only one who appears to be a little irritated and ticked off about this. You, I guess, don't care. I find it to be and to try to be a more reasoned individual here. I find it preposterous and absolutely criminal that we do not have real media audio. Forget television now. Forget national. I'm talking about local, San Francisco Bay Area, an area that has roughly 12 million people, something like that, from San Jose San Francisco, Oakland, Contra Costa, Marin, and beyond. Not a news talk outlet. Oh, there might be one in the area near the Central Coast. I'm talking about the Bay Area. And here we are so close to Silicon Valley, the computer chip capital of the world, and we have no news talk outlet. It is absolutely stupendous. It is ridiculous, criminal, and we have no FCC. And yet, the lemmings that we apparently have become, this is what we're reduced to. And, I'm not some outside audio trying to be, Patty Chayefsky producing guy from network, Howard Beale. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. I've been here before. But, folks, what do? We have all this news happening and taking place. Some of this more than just important. This is not a historical essay. This is not talking about the fact that we have no education or this, that, the other, or that our infrastructure is screwed up, that we have crooked politicians or whatever. Pick your subject. We seem to be more interested in sports. We seem to be more interested in Mama's cooking, Aunt Agnes's, eggplant on Facebook. We used to care, I guess. We used to give a damn. And now this is what we've become. Who out there finds this appalling? I mentioned the other day, anything Middle East, anything with some iota of importance. I loved listening to KGO, particularly John Rothman, the Middle East historian. He's got a few biases. I get all that. But he wrote books on the Middle East, had guests on. We had a back and forth. We talked, we vented, we commiserated, we communicated, for God's sakes. We're talking about nuclear Iran. And it's not just us or Israel or the Arab world, most of whom, ironically, until you read history, is just as aghast about Iran's capabilities, like Saudi Arabia, like Jordan, Egypt. But we don't do anything. We don't talk. We can't talk about it because we have no news talk outlet. I'm sorry. I find that criminal. I find that outlandish. In an area of this many people, we're the only schmucks. LA, I mentioned, Boston, New York, Chicago, Philly, Houston, Miami, small markets that have news talk outlets where the public can communicate, call in, talk. We have nothing. And apparently we don't give a damn. And I find that ridiculous. I find that, once again, I'm going to use the word appalling. What do we do about it? Am I the lone wolf? Am I the only person who gives a damn? I'm not making myself out to be some sanctimonious bastard. I genuinely am passionate, good or bad, about subjects that mean something that we should care about. And yet, this is what we've turned into. Maybe we should talk, maybe that would get us into the realm of having an outlet about, I don't know, American Idol. That seems to be the prevailing thing that we care about. Or whether or not the Giants can compete with the Dodgers or the 49ers minicamp or cooking classes. Folks, really, we should do something about this. I still have the hope and the feeling that there are people out there who, hell, talk about the big picture, and when it can affect us, the United States. And subject, I haven't even broached other main topics. If I go back in time, the fact that we had an election, we had no KGO. I know the old KGO, that ship has sailed. I get that. I'm talking about a news talk outlet. Somebody out there, we have more billionaires in Silicon Valley per capita than the entire world. Somebody out there has a few million to throw around. And to get a news talk outlet in San Francisco, that those of us that give a damn and care and are somewhat passionate, if not fully passionate and sensitive to the news, look what is affecting us. Look what is on the future front burner that could impact us. Hell, impact our way of life. And yet we don't have anything to talk about. We have the internet and stupid sites like SF Gate and SF Chronicle, where you can talk about the world's best burritos in the Mission and the best Safeway frozen item, or what Trader Joe's is hawking with their grocery bags. That's what makes up our livelihood these days. It sucks. It is preposterous in and of itself, yet that's what we do. Maybe just that's what we care about. Or maybe we do care. We don't give a damn anymore because we have forget about the fact, no oversight. We used to have an FCC. We only have now an FCC in theory, on paper, but we don't have a FCC that gives a damn about the broadcasting sites. They don't. And we in the Bay Area should be ashamed. No news station, no real news talk station. And don't give me KQED. They're into wind chimes radio, my ass. They do National Geographic replays, and I don't give a damn about raccoons in Canada or the shit or cooking shows or on television locally. Check, please. This is what is so unfathomably obnoxious and ridiculous. But that is where we're at. Our state of consciousness is a total abomination. Quote me.